The energy is palpable.
Gosh, you just don't understand.
No, I do.
I got one doing that. I got another one who is afraid to go to 201 Poplar all of a sudden.
Wow.
Like, how have you not? You're grown up. At a certain point, you're a grown up. You got to go do grown up things. Dog.
Yeah, but can
Go out there and do
I
it.
can I be honest?
Go ahead.
The experience I had my one and only experience at 201 Poplar was not a very enjoyable time just going to fight a ticket once. So I get the trepidation as a woman.
The officers are right there.
They're the one, like, oh, I'm sorry. Like,
My fault. My fault.
Come on, man.
My fault. My fault.
I have never. We don't have to start
My
the show
bad.
this way, but my God, I don't want to go back.
I forget how we as dudes get uniform or not.
Come on.
When we see something yummy walk by. My
Give your
bad.
friend some
My bad.
credit, some belief.
Goodness.
Ay, ay, ay.
Next time you go, I'll go with
Thanks.
you. No problem.
Thank you. I've done well, knock on wood. It's been a long time since I've gotten myself a little ticket. Except I hear they're starting to give parking tickets out downtown, and that's scary territory for me. Not that I would ever park illegally to run in someplace, ever.
I do it all the time. So sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit, baby. I risked it up in St. Louis a couple of times.
I put those
I had to pay
flashers
a
on
ticket.
and I say, I'll be right back.
I think you're fine doing that, aren't you? Oh, hell.
I think so.
I
I think so.
Take my
Oh,
mind off of this.
I would love to take your mind off of it. The song's Too Hot to Stop by the Barkays, which I heard
not
for the
writing that
first
down.
time in Superbad.
I am not writing that down.
Yeah.
That's a banger of a
It's
song.
staying. It's going nowhere.
Shout out to Stax. Was that on Barkays' Stax?
Yeah, Barkays' is
And
Stax.
all of their albums are Stax.
Absolutely. What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, September 9th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass coming up on today's show. NFL Week 1 ends with another crazy comeback. I hope you didn't go to bed thinking JJ McCarthy stinks, because you'd have to wake up think he might be the truth. Brings the Vikings back, makes it happen. We'll get into all the action from last night. Mike Wallace is going to join us. We'll talk some hoops with him. Grizzlies moves less than a month away from training camp. Plus, we'll get into some Hoops Hall of Fame talk, college football storylines. Biff Poggi returns to the sidelines this weekend. Steve Sarkisian said poop in a press conference. It's always fun. We'll do some TV Tuesday. I started a great docuseries on Hulu that is based in Memphis, a must-watch for Memphians. I'll tell you all about it. It is a Tuesday. You know what we say. Where would you rather be? Where would you rather be? Where would you rather be, CJ?
You want to be where you think the University of Memphis belongs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the next step is?
I think we're positioned, we're ripe for success. And so what I don't want to do is make an intermediate move if it's not going to position us well. And so my job is to make sure when that opportunity presents itself and the circumstance is right, that Memphis is prepared 100% to take advantage of it.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
How did they sell you on Memphis?
We're really just, I was really looking at the success that Memphis has, something I wanted to be a part of, and then the reputation Coach Silverfield and Coach Cramsey had as an OC, the things that he was able to do with Seth and the things that he's done in his career. I felt like that's something I wanted to be a part of, and I felt myself being able to excel in his offense. And also, I looked at the weapons around and everybody that I was going to be playing it with.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out. Let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, have it my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope your week is off to a great start. We had another primetime comeback last night, the final for Monday Night Football. The Vikings 27, the Bears 24. I gotta admit, this comeback felt even more improbable than the Bills' comeback on Sunday night, because when the Buffalo Bills led their comeback against the Ravens, they had Josh Allen, and when the Vikings did it last night, they had J.J. McCarthy, who early in that game had people saying some wildly negative things about his performance, his future as a quarterback in the National Football League. His first 30 minutes of professional football quarterbacking was, simply put, not very good. It was a jarring experience to go from watching Bills, Ravens, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson on Sunday night, 2 of the top-level elite quarterbacks in the NFL, to watching Vikings, Bears on a Monday night with J.J. McCarthy and Caleb Williams. But J.J. McCarthy suddenly had everybody going from, oh no, this could be really bad for the Vikings, to, oh, I better shut up. Because J.J. McCarthy did a complete script flip, and in the fourth quarter of last night's game, on 3 fourth-quarter drives, goes 6 of 8 for 87 yards in the air, had 101 total yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 on the ground. First player since Cam Newton to have 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown in his NFL debut, and the first quarterback to ever do that all in the fourth quarter of an NFL debut. He is the first quarterback to overcome a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter and win in an NFL debut since Steve Young did it in 1985. CJ, what was the worst thing you said about J.J. McCarthy last night, and how did that change so quickly after his fourth quarter performance?
So I went to bed at halftime.
So you went to sleep thinking J.J. McCarthy was awful.
I make it through halftime. And so you brought up the fourth quarter stats, the last 3 drives. The first 9 drives for the Vikings, 6 3-and-outs, 6 of them things. 85 total yards, 6 points, and a touchdown. And the touchdown was on a pick 6.
Yeah, it was for the Bears.
And so it was the Bears' touchdown. So I went to bed and was like, oh, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to finish this, because going to bed last night, my thought was, I mean, what a difference a coach makes. Caleb Williams was out there wheeling, dealing, making plays with his legs. This was somebody, they threw the graphic up last year, led the NFL in sacks. one of the most sacked seasons, top 3 most sacked seasons of all time by a quarterback. He was holding on to the ball too long last year, and he's getting it out quick. Are there people open downfield? Not quite. Will they get open? He's not going to hold the ball long enough because he's getting it out to somebody in the flat. He's getting it out to somebody short, and they're staying on time. It's like, oh, Caleb Williams looks to be like a competent quarterback now. This and beyond competent. Some of the plays he was making with his legs, not necessarily getting downfield, although he did run for a touchdown, but simply extending plays and getting outside the pocket and not taking the negative yardage play, was really, really impressed by him.
Early.
The first half.
Let's be clear.
So I record everything. That's the beauty of life. You get to record and then go about your business. And I woke up and I'm going to watch I got to watch the fastest 3 minutes. So I'm watching the fast 3 minutes, and I'm sort of on my phone prepping for the show because I'm up at like 3, prepping for the show, and open up Twitter. It's like, okay, let's see what's going on. I'm going to try and avoid spoilers, but I know J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings probably got manhandled because his Bears defense and Caleb Williams manhandled them. And the first thing I see when I open up Twitter is, what a comeback by JJ. It was like, holy hell, they came back and we're crediting JJ? Mm-hmm. What transpired? What happened in that fourth quarter happened? So the worst thing I said about JJ, going back to your question before I got all long-winded and everything, I apologize, was, this was my fear with him coming out of Michigan. I didn't feel like they put a whole lot on his plate. Mm-hmm. And when you start putting things onto his plate, I'm not sure if he can handle it.
Doesn't have Blake Corum to hand the ball off to anymore.
Doesn't have the run game, doesn't have the best offensive line. And here's the thing, when you go to one of those type of schools, you have all of the talent on your side, all of it on your side of the ball, save for 3, maybe 4 games a season, right? So Michigan is out-talenting everybody else in the Big Ten except for Ohio State, Penn State, and maybe 1 or 2 other teams. So, yeah, of course he's going to look great when you've got all the talent. He doesn't have all the talent on his side right now, and he looks like he could use that. And then the fourth quarter happened, and they stuck with him. They continue to allow JJ to push the ball down the field. They said, okay, pick 6, that's bad. Let's run a couple of run plays. But JJ, this ball is back in your hand, man. Make better decisions. And they utilize the play action pass to damn near perfection with JJ. And he was completing passes. And once he settled in that fourth quarter, took him 3 damn quarters, took him long enough. But once he settled in, he was making plays. He was a true playmaker on that field. It was good to see.
KOC believes in him. His teammates believe in him. And listen, like, I kind of roll my eyes at the whole he's just a winner narrative. Or I should say I found myself rolling my eyes. But that characteristic comes out in a game like last night. He stays calm. He doesn't unravel. He throws that pick 6. His first NFL touchdown is to the Bears, the team he grew up rooting for when he was a kid. But he is able to come back to lead that team, to go from 3 really rough quarters of football to being responsible for 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter of that game. Real good look for meditation. This is as much about what is inside a dude as it is about the skill set that he has. But apparently for J.J. McCarthy, the story coming out after talking to a handful of his teammates last night was middle of the third quarter. They're in the huddle. They're down 11. And he just looks at his teammates and says, "Where would you rather be? Where would you rather be?" And Justin Jefferson says,
I got a couple of places. Not down 11 in Soldier Field to the Bears. That's where I'd rather be.
But man, like Justin Jefferson says, I juiced up the team, and that's a leader move. It's the kind of things that build lore around somebody. And you look at the various clips of J.J. McCarthy and just the facial expressions he's using, and you go, God, that's a competitor. Sometimes it's the intangible nature of what makes someone a good quarterback, and damn, that guy, that's just a guy that wants to go out there and compete. Down 11, built for the moment. And listen, we were not saying that about J.J. McCarthy, and we don't have to be completely reckless in all of this. This was J.J. McCarthy's first professional start. Week 1, as I said yesterday, a notorious liar. But I think the blend of J.J. McCarthy, Kevin O'Connell, a coach who has been declared a quarterback whisperer of sorts, brings out the best in his quarterbacks. That relationship seems strong. And you get to rest on Brian Flores, who's one of the best defensive coordinators in the game. Like, that gives me belief in the Vikings in their totality. And coming from the NFC North, I like the Vikings a lot. I liked the Packers coming out of Sunday as well. The Bears have some things to figure out.
I liked them for 2.5 quarters, though, didn't you?
I liked them for one.
Okay.
I loved it when Caleb Williams was 10 of 10. You're texting me positive things about Caleb Williams. My mom's texting me positive things about Caleb Williams. We are as forever Trojans, always rooting for Caleb Williams. I really need the Pope to step it up. Like, if the Pope could stop cosplaying as a Tennessee Volunteers fan and spend more time working on blessings. Yeah, they gave the Pope a Vols jersey. Some representative was at the Vatican. The Pope meets the people on Wednesdays, and there was someone from Knoxville who was there and brought the Pope a Vols jersey, and there was a picture of the Pope with a Vols jersey. Yeah. Well, I need the Pope to go back to his roots of Chicago, his Chicago brethren, and I need him to write out a blessing for Caleb Williams to stand tall and proud in the pocket and throw accurately downfield. Emphasis on accurately, because that man in the second half of the game could not hit the broadside of a barn with some of those passes.
They did a better job of getting pressure on him also, and like getting at him and not letting him wiggle and slither his way out of the pressure.
And I do think when you're evaluating how the Bears and how ultimately Caleb Williams looked last night, there is a part of this that goes on that Brian Flores coach defense. That Vikings defense is very good. Similar to how we're talking about Cam Ward coming out of week 1 against a very, very good Broncos defense. Like, that's a tough thing for a young quarterback to figure out. But when you looked at Caleb Williams early, God, I mean, he starts 10 of 10. A lot of them were checkdowns, but he had that nice little slinger to Roma Dunze.
And that's fine. If
that's the creativity you're using.
You're just 10 for 10 on checkdowns, that is fine, because the Bears have weapons, and everybody in the NFL has weapons for you to check it down to the dude in the flat for 2 or 3 yards through the air on the completion, and for him to be able to turn and get upfield for an additional 4 to 5, right? Like, that's fine. If you just check down the Patriots under Tom Brady, for at least 3 of those damn Super Bowls, that's all they were doing was, hey, where's Danny Amendola at? Can I hit Wes Welker? Who is Hogan? You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Where is he? Right here, just curled up in the middle of the zone. Here he is. There you go. Now, let's just move the ball down the field real slow and methodically, because nobody wants us to push it deep down the field.
Chris Hogan.
If that's what Chris is his name.
I couldn't remember the man's first name.
If that's what you do, then listen, make the defense come up, and then when they come up, then you can push the ball down the field. But if when the defense comes up, to the credit of Flores, they're coming up with the intent on bringing pressure and not allowing you enough time for dudes to get open down the field, then as a quarterback, you have to be a bit more creative, and you have to be able to extend plays. And in the second half, Caleb Williams just did not do that enough.
And with a Ben Johnson coached offense or led offense, you have to be able to process so quickly. And that's something Caleb Williams has consistently struggled with. And I think there's time for this relationship to grow, for the Bears to grow. And it wasn't all on Caleb Williams. They had some stupid penalties. There was one drive where they had like 3 false starts in a row. The run game didn't do him any favors. And when you have a quarterback that at times has trouble managing an offense, what is one of the number one things you would like them to be able to lean on? A strong run game. And they did not have that last night for Caleb Williams. But his accuracy just has to improve. For someone rooting for Caleb Williams, some of those passes are just absurdly frustrating to watch. And it started with when they went for it on 4th down and he misses DJ Moore. And then later on, missed DJ Moore for what would have been a clear touchdown, missed Kmet on one, missed Odunze on one, and he's just throwing it. There's nowhere there to be found. And he has to be better, because when you're the number 1 pick in the draft, you are always going to be measured against the other quarterbacks in your class. And right now you're looking at Caleb Williams and thinking, God, should he have been the number 1 pick in that draft? And there was I'll call it a hit piece. Did you see any of the tricklings of that article? I struggle even calling it an article, but the thing at Go Long this week that came for Caleb Williams basically insinuated he might have a learning disability on top of going after his work ethic and saying that he had frustrating interactions or even unprofessional interactions with his coaches last year. And I think you have to look back at where the Bears were last season, and that was just a frustrating thing to be a part of in general. But so I was really extra rooting for Caleb Williams on the heels of that article coming out, and he fell short. And instead, we're looking today at someone like a J.J. McCarthy who was able to rise to the moment. Caleb Williams was off target 29.4% of the time last night, which was the worst mark for a quarterback in Week 1. So that wasn't great. I can't imagine. Yesterday we talked about being a Falcons fan, being a Browns fan. It's got to be real devastating to be a Bears fan.
The Bears are a upper echelon NFL team, right? Like the Bears have. You say you're a Bears fan, I feel like you can say that with some sort of pride, where you can say, okay, we might not be the Patriots as a fan base, or we might not be the Packers or the Steelers, but we're up there. We're worth being mentioned with the top franchises in this sport, and they've never had a once-in-a-generation quarterback. They've never had a good to great quarterback. I guess you can say, what's my man's name, McMahon? That's him, and it's just him, right? Yeah. That 80s Bears team was so special, and he was a quarterback there, so you throw him in there. But outside of that, who's been the closest, best quarterback the Bears have had? Cutler?
Probably.
Sexy Rexy? Sexy Rexy got to a Super Bowl at least. And so it is, as a Bears fan, I imagine that it is frustrating to think of yourself in that way and not have a Troy Aikman to fall back on, not have a Tom Brady to fall back on, not have a Joe Montana, Steve Young, think about all the great quarterbacks the Packers have had and how they just moved from one great quarterback to the next great quarterback, and you're the Bears and you got none of that. And Caleb Williams, you hope is that, but if he can't be accurate, and there are reasons why Caleb Williams is not accurate. There are. And that defense did some really good things and got pressure on him while maintaining coverage and confusing him on the backside of the play. Like that's going to happen, but you hope that Caleb Williams can play his way out of that and into some pretty elite company. If he can't be elite, damn it, just be really, really good, please. The Bears deserve a really, really good quarterback. And I'm not sure that they've ever had that.
And again, I turn to the Pope and I say, this is your opportunity to come forward for your team, for your city, for Caleb Williams. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Mike Wallace is going to join us. We'll talk some basketball with him on the other side. The Naismith Hall of Fame induction was over the weekend. We weren't able to get into that yesterday. We'll chat with Mike about some of that, plus Grizzlies moves, the latest on the Kawhi and the Clippers situation. That's all with Mike Wallace after a quick break.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
How did they sell you on Memphis?
I was really looking at the success that Memphis had, something I wanted to be a part of, and then the reputation Coach Silverfield and Coach Cramsey had as an OC, the things that he was able to do with Seth and the things that he's done in his career. I felt like that's something I wanted to be a part of, and I felt myself being able to excel in his offense. And also, I looked at the weapons around and everybody that I was going to be playing it with.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. We are efforting getting Mike Wallace to join the show shortly, but in the chaos of a full weekend of college football and the NFL, we did not get into the Naismith Hall of Fame class inductions from over the weekend. Got to see Carmelo Anthony get inducted into the Hall of Fame, which was very cool for someone who, I would say in terms of players responsible for really driving me from being a casual, especially college basketball fan, which is funny enough, to like being enthralled by the sport. That Carmelo Syracuse national championship run is towards the top of that list. Dwight Howard inducted. You had Maya Moore, Sylvia Fowles, Sue Bird, Billy Donovan. The 2008 Redeem Team was inducted as a whole. So you have LeBron, you have Chris Paul, who get into the Hall of Fame as active players as a part of the totality of that 2008 Redeem Team. I did think it was interesting hearing from Coach K, who called that gold medal the greatest moment of his coaching career. And I think when you always go back on reflecting on the 2008 Olympics and the gold medal for the USA basketball team, it's in the name. It's the Redeem Team. Like, they saved American basketball on an international stage. And I remember watching the documentary that came out on Netflix a couple years back on the Redeem Team, and there was a lot of questions about making Coach K that coach. Like, that was not a universally beloved decision. He was a West Point guy, comes in with the military-like background, and where obviously his career has ascended to, and so many of the players involved in the Redeem Team and just American basketball exceptionalism of what it is. And I know we're now kind of at a precipice yet again of what that will look like in the future. I thought that was really cool. Did you have a favorite moment from the Hall of Fame inductions?
I just love the Redeem Team story so very, very much, because it was so much of the conversation, not just internationally, but here. Took odd turns where it felt like we were cheering, the collective was cheering against this team that's in the red, white, and blue. And it is, American basketball players. And if it got, for me, listen, this is just how I perceived it. It got real uncomfortably racist. The conversations was like, there's too much ego here. They don't know how to share. They play ball the wrong way. They're not.
This is too much focus on the individual.
Yeah, they're selfish. They don't share. Nobody wants to go out there and do the little things that you need to do to win. All of that coded language that comes out when we talk about draft prospects. Gym rat, son of a coach. He does the little things, right? That wasn't being said about this team. High IQ players, a bunch of, where's the IQ at on this team? There was a bunch of that type of stuff happening. And instead of us rallying around, everybody on this team is going into the Hall of Fame. Everybody on this team will one day have their jersey retired by various franchises in the NBA. This team is special. There's so much talent here. It would be shameful for them to lose any games. Not saying they need to go out there and be what the Dream Team was in 92, but they shouldn't lose, and it shouldn't be really close. And for them to go out there, buy in, and dominate that tournament the way they dominated that tournament. The close game was the Spain game in the championship after beating the hell out of Spain, if I remember correctly, in the group stage. Like, to see them get acknowledged and for them to go into the Hall of Fame, that was a special moment for me. No Kobe, wish Kobe would have been there. One of 2 times in my life I cheered hard for Kobe Bean Bryant was that Redeem team. And the way that he bought in and him forcing everybody else to buy in because of how bought in he was tremendous. One of the best jobs a leader has ever done. And we do the arguments all the time. Ball, one shot, who gets the shot? Who's going to take the shot? To see it play out there, you got LeBron James. Is he going to take it? Dwayne Wade, is he going to take it? Well, Jason Kidd is still there. You want the ball in his hands to end the game. Carmelo Anthony is on that team. Is he going to take? Right, to see all of these super talented players on one roster and for it to be no, everybody's going to defer to Bean. Everybody knows, game on the line, it's Kobe's ball, and we just get it off the backboard. That was nice to see everybody humble themselves for the greater good. And Kobe humbled himself as well. One of the great moments that wasn't talked about in that Redeem Team documentary, they're scrimmaging. I don't remember if it's an international team or if it's the college team they're scrimmaging against. And something happens. LeBron James checks himself out, walks past Coach K. You better get that MFer. And that MFer is Kobe. And Coach K sits down with Kobe Bryant and has a conversation with him. And boom, Kobe changes the way that he goes about playing and is a bit more willing to share the ball and not hog it quite as much. That Redeem team hits me in all types of special places. Maya Moore, what she could have been.
Hold on, before we get to Maya Moore, just one more thing on the Kobe part of it, because I agree with you. That run for Kobe with the Redeem team, and he's talked about it. Like, one of the things of learning that when you play with USA across your chest, suddenly, like, Celtics fans are rooting for you. And in a similar fashion, like we had it in this last Olympics go around, and we have it every time. Like, suddenly, you, a Grizzlies fan, are able to erupt from your couch because Steph Curry is on an absolute heater, and you get to, for a brief moment in time, experience what it must be like to be a Steph fan. But you're not a Warriors fan, you're a Steph fan, and he's playing for USA Basketball, or you're a Kevin Durant fan, or you're a LeBron fan. Like, it's a very cool culmination. And for Kobe, that was such a pivotal part in his image and like what he was going to be, like, coming off of. I think that was right after he had requested the trade in the Ralph's parking lot in Los Angeles, and the whole fracturing with the fracturing with Shaq and everything kind of falling apart. And so to go from someone who didn't have a whole lot of friends in the NBA and in the basketball space in general, I think that really healed a part of Kobe Bryant that then ultimately led to him, and obviously with his untimely death, it turns into a deification of Kobe. But there was already in process a very different feeling for Kobe Bryant versus what he seemed to be on track of being, which was a villain light within the basketball space. So
I think the deification started
long before.
Like, there were people,
and then it was just cemented.
There were people who were going to love Kobe no matter what. And I think the change that happened, the one that matters, is it's changed him as a leader. Where you're coming off of, I do believe 2008, the Lakers had lost to the Celtics in the NBA Finals. And you're coming off of that moment. Kobe Bryant goes out there, has a conversation with Kay, plays a bit differently, understands that, hey, I can take a bit of a back seat at times. At times, I can allow teammates to do what they do. And just because they don't care the way that I care, they're not showing the care the way that I'm showing it, doesn't mean that they don't care. I can trust them. I can trust them. And the next year, what happens? Wins the finals. And the year after that, against the Celtics, has a moment that I'm not sure if we talk about enough. I'm not sure. I don't think we talk about enough. It is the stand with me moment in the locker room, where at the end of Game 5, before Game 6, he pleads with his teammates, hey, I can't, not by myself. Somebody please stand with me. And that moment right there gets Ron Artest and Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum and everybody else on that team fired up to the point to where they win Game 6 and they win Game 7 back home in Staples Center. They win Game 6 on the road, and now they're back-to-back champions, having avenged the loss to the Celtics in 2008, right? Like, I think that was the catalyst for that moment. The deification was already going to be there. We were always going to be dealing with Kobe stands no matter what, and Kobe disciples no matter what. But that moment, I think, made him a better leader, and I wish he was alive now to talk about that, because I think there are true lessons that we can all learn as we try to lead in our various lives.
Don't let me not go back to Maya Moore if we don't get to her.
Oh, we're going to talk Maya Moore.
Mike Wallace, because Mike Wallace is joining us now on the great Zoom. Mike, we were talking about the Hall of Fame inductions from this weekend. Were you able to catch any of it?
Yeah, I was able to follow it, especially on social media. I saw all the clips and many of the speeches. And, again, man, those are all contemporary guys that I've covered and been around and have seen the duration of their careers. A lot of those guys are from that class of 2003, the Dwayne Wade, LeBron James class, and beyond, right? So anything that was from that class and beyond are all Hall of Famers now. So that tells you that, number one, we've seen some great athletes come through, in all walks of athletics. And then number two, man, the years are adding up. You know what I mean? We've been around this game for a long time.
Absolutely. It was very fun to see. Mike, we had kind of a newsy Grizzlies week last week since we've last spoken with you, in that the final two-way spot got taken care of with the Grizzlies signing Olivier Maxence Prosper, or Omax. What did you make of this signing, and ultimately what it could mean for Jemai Meshack as well, as I know Grizzlies fans immediately connected the two with that last two-way spot going to Prosper?
I mean, when you look at it, anytime you can get a first-round pick on a two-way, then you're getting some value, right? And this is a guy that he's only a handful of years, maybe 3 years into his career. So it was just a couple seasons ago where he was, I think, picked 24th overall in the first round. He gives you the 6'8" size, the wing. That's not great. He's a D, but not necessarily a 3. And he's working on the 3 part of his 3 and D. But he's a wing. He's had some good moments. I remember him playing against the Grizzlies in a couple of these games the last few seasons. And, he's an intriguing prospect. That's all I can say from that standpoint. I think a lot of us got overexcited about Jemai Meshack in terms of what he was, because it was the middle of the summer and he's playing up against other guys that are not undrafted or late drafted picks in summer league or maybe even first rounders. And he really, really did well. But the bottom line is that he's a guy that will continue to develop. The Grizzlies still have his rights. And if he has to start with the hustle, so be it. I think they're loaded up at that position that he will play anyway for the most part. And they needed someone with a little bit more stretchability, a little bit more wingspan.
Okay, we are less than a month away from training camp, from the first preseason game, and you have a piece up at grindcitymedia.com about the Grizzlies and their fellow Southwest divisioners, the Mavs, the Rockets, the Spurs, the Pelicans. You spoke with analysts for each of those teams. What was the most interesting note that you found in your conversation with those analysts?
Well, it's a 6-part series that we'll be posting, throughout the course of, last week we started with part 1 to part 2 is up right now, and we'll have part 3 later this week. And then we'll drop the rest of the series as we get into media day towards the end of September. But this piece that currently is up online right now and has gone out is about the history of injuries and how everyone needs to avoid the injury bug in this conference. This division. The Southwest Division was the most injured division in the Western Conference last season, the second most injured division in the NBA behind the division with, Washington and all those teams that ended up in the lottery, right? Washington, Charlotte, and those guys. What this means, though, is that when you look at where they are, health is going to be helpful to everyone. But in this division, Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., the Grizzlies still haven't had a full season with both of those guys playing 65-plus games. Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, can they get healthy? You talked about Victor Wembanyama coming off of the blood clots and the things that he had to deal with, so that's going to be key. Can the Rockets keep Kevin Durant, preserve him at age 37? And then the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, obviously, Zion Williamson has not played more than 30 games in a long time, if ever, in his NBA career. So all of these teams have hope, but they just have to have health in order to actualize that hope. And that's the piece. That's the crux of the piece today.
So, Mike, if you look around the division, who would you say is the way too early top team in the division? And then where are the Grizzlies in relation to that team?
Yeah, I mean, it's the easy answer is Houston, right? Like everybody is just assuming that because Kevin Durant came to Houston, that he's going to clean up some of the things that they had, and he's going to take them. You know, they're the team that's going to beat up on or offset Oklahoma City. Well, guess what? We were saying some of these same things when he got to Houston. I mean, when he got to Brooklyn, we said the same things when he got, obviously over to Phoenix, and it never quite worked out in either one of those stomping grounds the same way. But I do think Houston is a place where they're rooted in who they are identity-wise under Udoka as coach, the defensive-minded mindset, and the role players know exactly what they are and who they are. He's not trying to play alongside two other superstars who want to get theirs and who struggle to adjust. But I think we might be crowning Houston a little bit too soon. We got to see this chemistry thing work out. And the team that we really need to understand is going to be on the come is the San Antonio Spurs. I think they can make a jump from out of the play-in and out of the playoffs last year to possibly a top 6 seed in the West this year if they get those things right, because they are dynamic. They're big up front. And if De'Aaron Fox and these young guards can continue to do what they do with the veterans that they brought in, it's going to be an amazing ride for San Antonio.
What do you think is the biggest thing that would hinder San Antonio from making that jump this year? Because there's a fear, a healthy fear, I should say, that once the Spurs do, and it's an assumed do, not will they, would they, it's once they are chasing for championships under the era of Victor Wembanyama, that it will be a long opportunity for Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. But what is the one thing that you look at where you say, maybe it's not this year, maybe they're still a year away from being there?
Because of the way he's built, it's you just have this fragility to him, right? This sense of, he is fragile. It seems like he's fragile. I've seen his workouts close up in person. I know the wear and tear that they put him through during games where they do all the physical pounding and things of that nature and pulling and pushing, resistance training and all of those kind of things. But it just seems that there's a Ralph Sampson-esque element to him. And I know I'm dating myself and you guys don't remember how promising Ralph Sampson was when he came in at that same size, and he never quite was had the physical career that people expected him to because of physical limitations. So that's the one thing that San Antonio, so much of this will be built around Victor Wembanyama that if he goes, then they go. And you don't want to see that happen to a young guy at that stage and that age. And it kind of, I don't want to hearken back to Greg Oden and what that did to Portland and those kind of things. But when you have big guys, and a blood clot is different from a foot injury or a back injury or a knee injury. He can come back from this and play a nice long career. But I've also seen Chris Bosh get that first one, and he never was able to recover from the initial blood clots as well, too. He had to retire. So hopefully Victor Wembanyama can stay healthy, and San Antonio can reach their potential from that standpoint.
All right, first time chatting with you since the Clippers Kawhi aspiration story developed and continues to be under investigation. But what's your opinion on it all? And I guess what's your prediction for the most likely outcome when all is said and done?
You know what when I get concerned is when the stories start changing from the people who are right in the middle of what's supposed to be happening, right? As Ballmer's responses and his story continues to change, and it continues to be, hey, there's no way anything went wrong here. We know exactly what happened, and this everything is above board. To he's almost kind of distancing himself from the situation and knowledge of what was going on. And anytime you have that, there's a little bit of a concern there. I think this is gonna, Adam Silver, unfortunately, yet again, is going to have his hands filled with the controversy that he has to get the league and the ownership group together and figure out what needs to happen from this, because there's a lot of fire that comes with this smoke right here that we're seeing. And it's unfortunate. You see people circumvent and try to figure out ways to get around the salary cap all the time. But this one was one that was so egregious from that standpoint.
That's my thought, Mike. And I'm still trying to figure out what makes this one, why is this moment leading to us reacting the way that we are right now as a sports collective, where it is, that is very clearly unfair. That is very clearly wrong. Something must be done. If it's found out to be true, we got to punish Ballmer and the Clippers. When I'm like you, Mike, I thought we were aware that things like this were done. Am I tripping? How you've covered this much longer than I have, much more closely than I have also. How often is it that teams circumvent salary cap constrictions?
Well, I'm not going to, and I don't want this to get clipped.
Don't clip it, Luke.
I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But I'm just curious about that.
I can give you an example.
If this is an off-air conversation, listen, we can get off record, baby. I don't care if the people watching and listening know this. I don't care. I just want to know for my personal satisfaction.
Don't you think? Go ahead, Mike.
No. Go ahead, Jess.
No, I think the reason that this one has hit in the way that it does, one is that the way Pablo Torre laid out a paper trail in good old-fashioned investigative journalism, and there are dollars that were paid to Kawhi Leonard, and there is zero representation on his side or the side of the Clippers that he ever did anything for this company. So I think it's just simply the nature of money was given to this person. There is not one single instance or example or tweet or photo of him having anything to do with this company. And because you cannot pinpoint, at least he said the name like one time in his life of aspiration, then it's such an obvious, easy example to pinpoint. Whereas in other situations, I think it's been a little blurrier when teams have allegedly been flirting with circumventing the cap space. They might have done a messier job that doesn't give you this opportunity of like, well, damn, this obviously happened. Oh yeah, play that song. In September?
In September, it's alleged. We're alleging things.
But anyway, Mike, what's your opinion on that?
So I agree with you in that sense completely, Jess. You're absolutely right about that. I think the timing of it and the goal of Kawhi not to even have to do anything, right? That made it worse. But I think the timing of it when it happened, because he was coming in as a free agent, that made it the violation. Right? You can only pay him X amount of dollars, and they gave him every dollar that they can give him legally, and then you create this second avenue to give him another almost $30 million, which is another season's salary in that situation. And then he's not required to do anything. So even if he did show up and do the media and the marketing for aspiration, it still wouldn't offset the fact that they did this the wrong way. This story probably still would have come out. Mm-hmm. And then especially when you weave together, it was was this company connected to Ballmer in other ways and different things from that standpoint. But what I was going to say, CJ, to your point is this, and this is completely different, right? But some ways I remember a player, and I'm not going to name the player or the team, but he was in free agency, right? And it was a big time free agent class, and they couldn't fit him in with the rest of the guys that were coming in. But he wanted to be there. He wanted to come back and stay with the team. So they figured out a way for him to take less money under the salary cap. The guys sacrificed $1 million each to make up his money so he can come in under the salary cap, under the mid-level exception. And then what happened towards the end of his career was that he kept getting veteran minimum contracts, even though he wasn't playing for the last 3 seasons of his career. So he kept getting that extra $6, $7, $8 million for years 14, 15, 16, and he was never going to play. He was just going to be on the team, on the bench, in sort of an advisory role. So that's how they kind of make things right. I've also seen companies endorse players where the owners are part of owner owns the team and owns some other companies, and they become endorsers of those companies, lifetime contracts and all those kind of things after they get done playing. So you see it done in a lot of different ways. Family members get jobs at different corporations and all this kind of stuff. But this one is one that clearly takes the cake because it was so easy to find a paper trail, as Jessica said.
KL2, make a different LLC. Maybe you're having a different conversation. I swear, if they can find, I thought Zach Lowe brought up a great point yesterday. If they can find a way to pin this on Uncle Dennis, I think Uncle Dennis will be the ultimate fall guy in this scenario. Mike, thank you as always for joining us. Yeah. We will catch up with you next week. Bye.
No question about it. Thank you guys. Take care.
That was Mike Wallace. You can find his latest on grindcitymedia.com. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We will finish up our conversation about the Hall of Fame induction because Maya Moore's speech was great. And Maya Moore, we don't talk about Maya Moore enough in the basketball space. We'll also get into some college football storylines. Steve Sarkisian said poop. Biff Poggi's going to be in a cutoff for Michigan this weekend. I know CJ's excited about that. We'll get into all that, plus a great documentary that I watched. Still ahead when we come back after a quick break.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
How did they sell you on Memphis?
Well, really just, I was really looking at the success that Memphis had, something I wanted to be a part of, and then the reputation Coach Silverfield and Coach Cramsey had as an OC, the things that he was able to do with Seth and the things that he's done in his career. I felt like that's something I wanted to be a part of, and I felt myself being able to excel in his offense. And also, I looked at the weapons around and everybody that I was going to be playing it with.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You want to be where you think the University of Memphis belongs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the next step is?
I think we're ripe for success. And so what I don't want to do is make an intermediate move if it's not going to position us well. And so my job is to make sure when that opportunity presents itself and the circumstances right, that Memphis is prepared 100% to take advantage of it.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. So included in the Hall of Fame inductions this weekend was Maya Moore, and she had a wonderful speech. If you missed it, highly suggest going back and giving it a listen. Talked about seeking connection with people around you and the beauty of sports, and when you look at teams that truly love each other. It was also just a reminder that, in my opinion, Maya Moore is the greatest women's basketball player of all time, and I don't think anyone will ever be able to take the cake of Maya Moore being the greatest women's basketball player of all time. And I say that in my 4 WNBA championships in 8 seasons. She had a 50% success rate of winning a championship during her WNBA career. She has her 2 NCAA titles. She has 2 Olympic gold medals. She even won 3 high school state championships. Shout out to Jordan Brand for doing a great ad campaign where they did the MJ famous ring picture and recreated it with Maya Moore. Only when you look at Maya Moore's rings, she has 12 of those things on her fingers from her totality of her basketball playing career. And people were like, well, all of MJ's were from the NBA. Well, whatever. Michael Jordan put the stamp on it and said you can create it as a comparison. And I think it's an awesome testament to everything that Maya Moore did. But then when you add on the fact that she just stepped away from the game when she was at the peak of her career because she wanted to go help fight prison reform. And she met a man who she dedicated her life to getting his conviction overturned, and then they became friends, and then they fell in love, and now they are married to this day. And she left the game and never looked back and went off and like truly did something that changed a part of the world. That's so cool. Maya Moore is one of the coolest people to ever exist. And that was what I was reminded of watching. Not that I needed a reminder, but it was fun to see her get her flowers at the Hall of Fame induction.
She walked away and stayed away. We've seen some athletes walk away and come back. You know, Brett Favre walked away, came back. Michael Jordan walked away, came back twice. She walked away at her height and just stayed gone. Mm-hmm. And that is remarkable to me when you think about how dominant she was, her and Sylvia Fowles and the rest of that Minnesota Lynx squad, how good they were, especially with her on the court. It's just incredible to stop and think that somebody in that position where you're at the pinnacle of your profession looks around and says, yo, this is cool. This is not really fulfilling. So I'm going to leave and do something more fulfilling. I don't think
Can I push back on the not fulfilling? I think she was fulfilled.
Like,
I think
all
she
the way
reached
through,
this point where she
where
was
it
like,
was-
I
where it
have
was
achieved
filled.
greatness. My cup is full. I'm going to go do something to fill another cup. And I think there's like great peace in that. So often it's the like never ending Energizer Bunny of chasing fulfillment. But I think she was fulfilled. I think she had a wonderful career and she took the comfort in having had that.
And not needing more.
Exactly, the piece of it.
So I think all of us over here, it's American culture to need more, to want more. And to your point, I agree with you. Thank you for correcting me, because that's what it was. Like, hey, I've got it. I don't need more. I'm fulfilled. This cup is full. Let me go over here and do something else that is meaningful in this world and in my life. Her walking away, and why am I blanking on quarterback for the Colts?
Luck
walking away, where it was, okay. And Luck walked away having none of what she had, none of what Maya Moore had from a team success standpoint. But just looking around like, hey, there's other things for me to do here. I'm always impressed when those types of people take a look around and say, all right, I'm good here. No matter what happens, I'm not in my prime, or I'm at the height of my prime, or I'm just outside of my prime. I don't need to continue to do this. I'm fulfilled here, like you said. I'm gonna go get fulfilled someplace else. That always impresses me.
Yeah, me too. And that's where, obviously, she was a phenomenal basketball player. And if you want to make your GOAT argument, go for it. From Cheryl to Tamika to Candace to Sue Bird to Diana Taurasi, like whatever argument you want to make.
Why do you hate Caitlin Clark?
I'm so sorry.
Why
The early run for Caitlin Clark, that is all
mine.
mine. Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, like you can go through.
Oh, when you said Cheryl, I thought you were talking Swoops, not Miller. My bad.
Well, I'm always going to lean towards, but yes,
Nancy,
Cheryl Swoops,
Lieberman, also players who we wish we could have seen
exactly
in this sort of a league.
But I just look at it from the one, you go back and watch Maya Moore highlights and you'll have yourself an afternoon because they're a blast. But two, just that totality of her as a person. Like, that's such a rarity. She is in rare air both as a player and as someone who made a decision that we do not see often. And I think that is something to be celebrated. I'll tell you something not to be celebrated. Did you see what time the USC-Michigan State game is kicking off?
11?
Eastern time, 8 p.m. Pacific time.
Well, hey, welcome to the Big Ten, baby.
I would say welcome to the Pac-12, Big Ten. Pac-12 After Dark, fun. Big Ten football kicking off at 8 p.m. Pacific time, less fun.
What do you mean?
Security.
What's less fun about that?
What's not fun about that?
Where's the game? The game is in East Lansing, right?
Oh, isn't the game? The game's at the Coliseum, I thought.
Double check that.
Because
if it's in the Coliseum,
there's no way there is, CJ. There is no way it is in East Lansing kicking off at 11 p.m. That would be fun.
Wait a second. I thought you were talking AM.
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Why is that game on at night?
Exactly.
Neither one of those teams
okay,
are any
now
good.
you're back on. I was like, why don't you
so
see this as a problem?
It's kicking off in East Lansing?
No, it's kicking off at the Coliseum in Los Angeles at 8 p.m. local time.
Got you. Okay.
Which is 11 p.m. Eastern time, which is 10 p.m. Central time, which is 9 p.m. Mountain time.
Okay, thank you for running through all
You're
the
so
time
welcome.
zones.
I just
What is
wanted
it,
to
Hawaiian
make sure.
and Alaskan. Can you do that?
Gotta pull out
Where's
my
the prime meridian at? Can we find that? Okay, so look, man, it's fine. Either you're up really, really early to watch your team play, which has its benefits and its perks, or you're up really, really late watching your team play, which also has its benefits and has its perks. College football is an event, man. You make an event of the day. So if it's 11 p.m. in East Lansing when your team kicks off, then I'm sure you guys been watching games all damn day, and you guys go out to the store and get your libations. I talked to a young person who didn't know what libations meant, but you get your libations, or you go to the bar. Everybody's going to have midnight viewing of Michigan State taking on USC. And if it was the other way, if it was 8 o'clock in the morning, well, you just wake up super duper early and you get excited and be happy about it because you're not going to work. You're going to sit down somewhere in a bar and watch your favorite team play at 8 in the morning. And have a libation at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? You're not going to get me to be upset about times, games, kickoff. I'm just not. So what, did you figure it out?
Yeah, it would be 5 p.m.
Okay. 5 p.m.
Hawaii time.
Okay.
I didn't look up Alaska.
Oh, come on.
That's
my
gosh.
gosh. Don't we have fans in Alaska?
Honolulu.
Good grief. I mean, what are the people in Alaska? Juno wants to know what time they need to be in front of their TVs to watch.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock?
It'll be 8 o'clock Juno time. So Alaska is on
Pacific. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
The more you know.
Didn't know that.
I didn't either, but I do now, thanks to this fun exercise in clocks. I have too many world clocks. I can't add any more on my phone. Just like one day they're going to tell me I can't add any more alarms. Are you excited about the opportunity to watch Biff Poggi coach your football team this weekend? Is that a yes?
No. But whatever.
You're not?
Just don't throw them out there.
Oh, my God. I'll never forgive Charlotte for taking away the opportunity to see Biff Poggi coach against Bill Belichick in a North Carolina-Charlotte game. They should have brought him back just for a celeb shot.
You shouldn't be mad at Charlotte. Be mad at Biff Poggi for not being a good enough coach.
Charlotte didn't have a good enough resources to make a good football team.
Okay.
I cannot believe Biff Poggi is coaching a football
Jacob
game. Jacob said it, and I was like, this cannot be real. This cannot be real.
It's not going to matter.
I love when characters from our past come back.
Pop back up in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
Not just in a random.
He's coaching Michigan.
He's on Boise State sideline, right? Like UCF is playing real well. Did you know Biff Poggi was their defensive line coach?
Yeah.
Huh, that's interesting. No, a team that matters to one of us, this guy is coaching, and my gosh. Like, okay, all right. You say Charlotte didn't have the resources. Michigan definitely has the resources. Just don't go out there and muck it up. Just do what the head coach is telling you to do, Biff, against whichever hapless team Michigan is going to beat the hell out of.
It's Nebraska. And
exactly. Whatever hapless team Michigan is going to beat the hell out of.
I went to the Huskers Reddit page on the announcement that Biff was going to be coaching the Michigan-Nebraska game, and the first comment was, I swear to God, if we lose to someone named Biff. And I feel that. I understand that. All right, one other college football story to get to from yesterday. In case you missed it, during Texas's game against San Jose State this weekend, there was a moment where Arch Manning was on camera following a pass that he threw, and he grimaces a bit. He makes a facial reaction that would lead you to believe that perhaps he was uncomfortable. I don't assume, because when you assume, you get to where we're about to take you. But he looked an awful lot like he was grimacing. The pass was awfully short. His man was wide open. He didn't have a single defender in his face. Just a bad throw all around. So he gets asked about it after the game, if he was dealing with any pain. And he said, no, I've just got to make that throw. And Sark was asked about it after the game, and he said he didn't know what people were talking about it. But that brings us to yesterday's Monday press conference for Steve Sarkisian, and he is asked about it again. And it is an interaction that you simply should hear for yourself. So take a listen to how Steve Sarkisian responded.
He seemed to be having some throwing pains by the
According to
fourth
who?
quarter. Arch.
Arch said that to you?
No.
Oh, according to who?
It just looked like he was.
He doesn't have any.
Is there an explanation to why it looked like that?
I don't know. I've never filmed any of you guys when you're using the bathroom, so I don't know what faces you make when you're doing that.
Sark, you talk.
What?
So the next guy did it all the way wrong. The next guy was about to ask a different
follow
question.
up.
You got to follow up on that. So,
Coach, what do you mean?
So, Coach, is Arch constipated? Is he pooping on
did
the field?
Arch Manning
Did Arch Manning, while
his pants?
making that throw, shit himself, Coach? Can you ask that? You got to follow up when these dudes be saying these types of things.
So
clearly he is testy. Clearly he is upset about the question being asked, which leads me to believe, as a reasonable person, oh, they're hiding something about this young person. But damn, once that comes out of his mouth, damn everything else.
You have to
adjust.
adjust.
You got to follow up on. Are you saying that he pooped himself, Coach?
We are not breeding proper journalists anymore, because a proper capital J journalist would have heard that, said, I'm going to pivot on this next question, and proceeded to investigate he should have said, 2 questions, and I'll start with number 2. Are you saying that Arch Manning pooped his pants during the game? Also, I saw the clip of Arch over the weekend, and it could just be the facial expression that he makes. I don't know. He looks a little uncomfortable. But I did not know that the story was ongoing. And so the way that I found out that Steve Sarkisian had this press conference was the SB Nation headline. Arch Manning injury update. Was Texas quarterback hurt, or was he just pooping? And I was like, how did we get here? And then that led me to go through and listen to Sark's comments. Oh, I just think that there was probably a better way to say that. But now I have this new question in my head, because this is how I'm built, because I am a capital J journalist. I don't think I had ever really thought of the facial expressions that those around me would be making while using the bathroom. And now I'm like, do they all just look like Arch Manning? What do I look like? It's not like I'm looking at myself. This is such a strange thing to think about.
Now I want to take a picture of myself.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, what do I want?
Please don't send it to me. That's an HR violation.
I'm busy violating HR this week. I can't be contained.
I'm not gonna tell the people.
But no, it's, the poop face is a lot like the old face. Everybody makes one, and they're all a little bit different. So what's yours?
Hey, you want to know who he could get sponsored by?
Miralax?
Miralax. We could be co-sponsors.
You've got to be a sponsor first.
Well,
you got to
I
get
know,
sponsored.
but I just, they sent me a big box. So.
Well, they sent all of us big boxes.
That was years ago.
Yeah, the Achilles injury.
I know.
They sent it to us.
I'm
Miralax,
being
if
the
you're still out there
Achilles whisperer
watching,
to somebody, and I suggested that they get some.
Miralax. Listen,
yeah.
we promote your product. We'll stop doing it for the free, and we'll continue to do it when you guys become a sponsor.
Wait, Alexander in the chat says, my kids have a book called Everyone Has a Poo-Poo Face, where the kids go around asking to see people's poo-poo faces.
Wait, what? There's no way that book
I'm
exists.
Googling this on a work computer.
There's no way there's a book that exists called Everybody Has a Poo-Poo Face. And what is the point of the book?
I don't see it.
Alexandra.
Alexander, what are you talking about?
Drop the link.
Okay, wait. I see it. There's a book here that's just called What's Your Poo-Poo Face?
What's
And then
Your
there's an
Poo-Poo
Instagram page for it, and there's children reading this book.
I've got to read the What's Your Poo-Poo Face.
You know what?
book.
Maybe we should ban the books.
Starting with that one.
Maybe we should.
Starting with that one.
Oh, God. All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Great new docuseries on Hulu that is based right here in Memphis. I also did finally watch the documentary that everybody was talking about, Unknown Number, the high school catfish story. Did you watch it, CJ?
Devin told me to, and I have not made time to watch it.
Okay. We'll have a spoiler-free conversation.
All of our conversations should be spoiler-free.
No, We've talked about this. We put a category. Either it's spoiler free or there are spoilers, and we're discussing things at length. Anyway, we will not spoil anything. We'll talk a little bit about what we're watching on the other side.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
How did they sell you on Memphis?
I was really looking at the success that Memphis had, something I wanted to be a part of, and then the reputation Coach Silverfield and Coach Cramsey had as an OC, the things that he was able to do with Seth and the things that he's done in his career. I felt like that's something I wanted to be a part of, and I felt myself being able to excel in his offense. And also, I looked at the weapons around and everybody that I was going to be playing it with.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You want to be where you think the University of Memphis belongs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the next step is?
I think we're ripe for success. And so what I don't want to do is make an intermediate move if it's not going to position us well. And so my job is to make sure when that opportunity presents itself and the circumstance is right, that Memphis is prepared 100% to take advantage of it.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. Before we get into what we are watching, I am always keeping an eye. Yes, CJ, that hand shot up in the air.
Shout out to Alexandra from the chat.
She sent you the poo-poo
She's
book?
also somebody who follows me, or I follow her on. Either way it goes, she sent me a DM.
Incredible.
What's your poo-poo face?
Incredible.
And I'm going to... Jacob, I'm going to send this to...
Oh, she sent it to me too. Oh my God, this is amazing.
I'm sending this to your IG, Jacob. So whenever you grab
Please
it,
put it
just
up.
throw it up because the cover is
incredible.
It's amazing. You
a
guys
book
wouldn't
that I
believe it.
now would like to read live on this show.
You told me we couldn't read books live on this show.
Yeah, because you wanted to read
pitched that
romance
idea.
novels.
It wasn't romance novels.
It was worse than a romance
Yes.
novel. We were not going to read.
Why?
CJ wanted an entire segment where he just read pages of smut.
It wasn't smut, Jessica.
Yes, it was.
It was not.
Anyway.
It was like children's books. Say what, Jacob?
It was Jaquan Mills.
Oh, I did want to read Quan Mills books on air. No, the children books. The ones about the back door.
Yeah, also that.
Like, that's a quick read. That's a quick 5 minutes.
Save it for your lesson plan with PragerU, okay? It's your specialty coming this fall in the new education system.
Can't wait.
That's the furthest right person on this show.
Can't wait to be on PragerU.
You're going to be tremendous.
Yes.
All right. Before we get into what we're watching, I do constantly keep an eye out on things that are. Okay.
Come on, man.
I'm never going to get through this.
There's a football player. There's an elephant.
There's a unicorn.
Oh, hot damn. There is a uniform.
There's a
Jessica, is that you?
monkey. That's me in a mermaid swim top. There's a little kid. There's a man. There's multiple monkeys.
Really, really happy also, the kid on that toilet.
Because he's pooping. Sometimes it's like, oh, yay, this is happening. I don't want to give away the government secrets, but, it's not a bad part of the day. It's all part of the process. You're regular. Everything's working. You're like, yes. And as a little kid, you're like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it by myself.
There's a fire hydrant, and
I'm a little confused by the fire hydrant.
What's the little?
But I do love that there is a football player on it. So Arch Manning, you could. There's a little difference in that football player.
Looks like a Seahawk football player also.
Good old member of the 12s. Okay, are we done with the poop book? Get this for Darnell, CJ.
Go ahead.
Okay. Constantly giving a look at what's coming through FedEx Forum. And I was surprised to see that Nate Bargatze is coming back to Memphis with his Big Dumb Eyes World Tour on March 26th. And I was only surprised because Nate Bargatze was literally just here. He was here in May of 2024. And I talked about it on the show because I ended up going to his last tour, and I had never really followed Nate Bargatze that much. I had enjoyed him when he was on SNL the various times that he hosted, but I ended up at his show, had a really good time, and I ended up there because he was kind enough to hook my husband up with tickets to that show. After he had visited Le Bonheur, he had come through Seacrest Studios, and Chris just said, he was the nicest, coolest, most down-to-earth guy, and he was so good with the kids, and our household basically became a Nate Bargatze fan household simply because he was really nice. It's amazing what just interacting with a nice celebrity can do to make you root for them and be more interested in consuming their content. But anyway, seems like a cool dude. He's also a huge Vanderbilt football fan, and I think maybe we should try to have him on the show to talk about Diego Pavia and the Commodores and all that comes with that. But Nate Bargatze back at FedEx Forum, March 26th, the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster and at the FedEx Forum box office. All right, what we are watching. CJ, have you heard of the documentary Memphis to the Mountain?
No.
It's incredible. So it's on Hulu. It was produced by Anscape. It was directed by Tom Shadyac, who's a Memphian, director of Liar Liar, Bruce Almighty. He's from here, and he's been working on this documentary with the wonderful people at Memphis Rocks. And Memphis Rocks is a rock climbing gym in Soulsville. And I happened to visit Memphis Rocks a few years back because we did one of the Grizzlies team mentor events there. And I remember just being completely enamored with Memphis Rocks and what they're all about. They created this community space in Soulsville. It's not just a rock climbing gym. They have gym facilities. They do different classes. They have a meditation room. They do yoga. They do Tai Chi. They do a lot of different group classes that people can come to. And it's a pay what you can kind of place. There's a recommended cost to attend, but if you cannot afford what they recommend, well, it's, pay whatever you think that you can, or you could go for free. And it's a really cool space put together with this documentary or this docuseries that's now on Hulu, where they take a group of some of the people who climb at Memphis Rocks and ultimately lead them on a adventure, for lack of a better word, where they're ultimately going to hike Mount Kenya. And so it's a 3-part docuseries, and I watched the first episode last night, and in the first episode, they take them to a place in Colorado to do kind of their first real-world hike. The second episode, which I plan to watch later today, they get with the free solo guy, the climber who climbs without ropes. And so they're going to meet him in Nevada and do a climb with him. They're going to use ropes because they're not insane. And then it's ultimately going to lead to them hiking Mount Kenya. And it's a really great look at Soulsville and South Memphis and the Memphis community and just how something like a program or a space like Memphis Rocks can create this outlet for people who might never have been inclined to try rock climbing. There's a couple of the people involved who, when they're flying to Colorado, like it's their first ever time on an airplane, and just seeing people interact with nature for the first time, because like, let's face it, if you're living in South Memphis, maybe the closest you get to nature is the Mississippi River, or maybe you're going to like Overton Park, but a lot of people like don't leave their neighborhood. And so you're not seeing mountains and hills and streams and rivers and whatever it is. You're not hearing birds chirp. Like you're in a city, you're in an inner city. And to see people have the opportunity to like get outside, I just thought it was tremendous. There's a really sad undertone through it, because one of the men involved in the docuseries was the man who was murdered at Memphis Rocks last year. And so to watch him and see his story play out, and they put a slide up at the very beginning of it, so they don't even try to make it, which I really appreciated, like not trying to make it a gotcha at the end. Like they, I think, purposely want you to see this person who fought to get out, who like he's on camera saying like, listen, I used to be a gangbanger, I used to sell drugs, I want a better life for myself, and the people here are helping me to, you know, achieve something outside of this. And then to know that he ultimately loses his life is a really a tough thing to stomach throughout it. But I just cannot recommend it enough. I think so often we kind of get into like there's nothing you can do. Everything just is as it is. And yet this is a prime example of something that was created with the intent of helping people, and to watch it in action is a really special thing. And all the people involved are great. I hope we can, I'm going to try to reach out and get them on the show, because I think it would be awesome to talk with them about the whole process. But
it sounds
Hulu.
cool. Which mountain?
Mount Kenyon.
Mount
Kenya in Africa.
Okay.
Yes.
In Kenya, I'm assuming.
I think it's in Kenya, but I
Okay.
didn't want to just
Yeah.
assume.
I got you.
It is it's in Kenya.
Okay.
So I guess Mount Kenya is often considered, like so many people put the notoriety on doing Everest, but for real hiker, like the real climbers and hikers, Mount Kenya is the most hiked mountain in Africa, I believe.
Well, yeah. I would either that or Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds cool.
But it's cool. It's well put together.
And
it's
you've done
told
the rock
nicely.
climbing thing in South Memphis? Okay.
I did it right after I was like still in the comeback from the whole Achilles situation. I have never been a big rock climbing fan, because frankly it terrifies me, and I really don't like how it feels on my hands, if we're being completely honest. And I also don't like being in a harness. But I do love being outside. I love hiking, but I don't love climbing. So like even just, you know, being back, like I want to be more connected to nature, and the reminder of just how cool it is to be out in open space and to hear things, like when you can really hear the wind going through the different topography that you're in. I don't want to climb. I never want to be on a rope on a mountain. I'm not crazy. But it is funny, like even one of the taglines from the first episode, which I believe was used in the trailer, is something along the lines of like, I thought this was just shit white people did. And the whole point is, no, this is something for everyone. And like specifically, like hiking, it can be all about the black community and having more black hikers. And there's one guy who lives in Colorado who, I think he led the first ever Everest expedition where it was exclusively black hikers. And that's kind of become one of his missions, is making it a more inclusive sport or activity, and just the reminder of like, you can get out and explore nature wherever you are. So anyway.
You feel good doing it.
Yes. Fresh air
Like,
is amazing.
Fresh air, and just being out there, like you said, hearing the wind blow by, hearing the trees rustle, listening to the sounds of various insects and birds, and maybe even coming across a critter or two. Like that's a really cool, really fun experience. And I think sometimes the lack of accessibility in the black community lends itself to people in that community saying, oh, that's for white people. And there's something wrong with that. I'm not interested in doing it. And you shouldn't feel that way about the nature. Nature is for all of us.
Right.
Nature, we should all be out there trying to enjoy. And one of the things that I think is a struggle for some in the Memphis area, the Mid-South area, to comprehend is, you know, if you work with somebody from like Binghamton originally or somebody who grew up in Raleigh, there's a good chance that that person hadn't left this region, this state, and absolutely hadn't flown on a plane. I think some people take for granted the access they have to travel and don't understand why people around them who they know like deeply, like you see them 5 days a week, don't have that same level of travel. Well, it's probably because they've never done it and they don't think it's accessible. And so when you have those types of conversations, I would encourage everybody to let it be known, hey, we did it. This is what it cost us. We could have done it cheaper if we had done it like this. You should go out there and do it. I got cousins, not necessarily in Memphis, in Jackson, who the first time they flew on a plane was to go to Chicago to visit family, and that was 2 years ago. And they're almost 30 at this point. And so getting them outside of their, not even outside of the comfort zone, just exposing them to something that is different for them was so very, very important. And travel really does open your eyes up to a much larger world and makes you feel a deeper sense of connection, not just to your community, but to other communities around the nation and internationally also.
Yeah. Travel is such a luxury. Like one of the guys on this, like I even think of, because then I'll hear people say, well, if you can't get in an airplane, just get in your car and drive somewhere. Cars are, have you heard of gas? Like there's a young man in this docuseries who's sleeping in the back of a car because he needed it more for a home than for a vehicle. He doesn't pay for the gas to drive it. It's literally a place that there's a quote unquote roof over his head. I mean, I think there is such a disconnect of like what it truly means. And I think some of it's by design because we as a society don't like to look things in the eye of what it is because it makes us uncomfortable. But like here in Memphis, 1 in 5 people live below the poverty line. And like what it means to live below the poverty line. And you don't take a trip. You don't have time to hike. Like your time is spent trying to survive, quite literally. So I do think from that standpoint, not to get all preachy with it, but for a lot of people, this docuseries does a really good job of just illuminating some of the things that I think lend itself to larger Memphis conversations that we often miss some of the point and the heart of where we're talking about those things. So it's on Hulu, 3-part series. Each one is like 45 minutes to an hour. Highly recommend. I did watch the Catfish. It's not called The Catfish. It's called Unknown Number, the high school catfish documentary on Netflix. CJ, I do think it's worth a watch. I think you need to watch it. I need to know your reaction to it. I will not spoil it, but I ended that thing thinking there is no way that the person responsible for this shouldn't be in jail for a good chunk of the rest of their life. And it is absurd what ended up happening at this high school. And
what are the emotions attached to this doc?
What do you mean?
I watched this documentary and
You're gonna
it
be
wants
so
me
frustrated.
to feel what?
Pissed off.
And I am going to feel that. It does a good job of getting you there.
Yes.
Okay.
It's only an hour and a half.
Okay.
It's not a series. Normally we talk about it on a Thursday, but I just watched it and wanted to discuss.
Oh,
I
so
thought
this
you had
isn't-
watched it.
This isn't even TV. It's the doc.
It's Netflix though.
But it's a doc. Okay,
I know.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it, and Thursday we can get into
Okay.
the weeds. But you say the chief emotion that you felt while watching it
Pissed off.
was
like enraged.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
I like
I'm
it's
sorry.
been a
I'm not
while.
going to be.
It's been a while since I've been
Pissed off is
enraged.
elementary language. No, enraged.
Been a while. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Where does it take place?
Ohio?
Okay.
Michigan.
Okay. Same place. Whatever. It's fine.
Don't tell them that. They get so mad. Michigan, small town,
Okay.
small enough town where this is like a very big deal,
And it
most
involves
people
high
know.
school. I'm
Yes,
assuming it
it's a
involves high school children.
Yes, high school children. It involves somebody sending a variety of messages, particularly targeted at a young girl and her boyfriend. They are the two main characters, and just like
Are the people
vitriolic
in
messages.
this still children? Or are they now?
They are
young
young.
adults?
They're children.
Late teens.
Late teens. I think they're in their no. They're at the end
still
of their
in
high
high
school
school.
careers. Yes, this is a
Oh.
recent. So this would have happened, I think, in their first few years in high school, and it takes place over a pretty significant chunk of time, like close to 2
Underclassmen
years.
and then-
Underclassmen, and now as they
Okay.
speak, they are upperclassmen.
Okay.
So it's fresh.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm when we get these documentaries, I'm always curious about
How much time?
well, not just how much time. Yes, that's the big one, but the little thing I'm curious about is, hey, how old were you when this happened? and how old are you now?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is a big difference in a 14, 15-year-old as opposed to a 17, 18-year-old and how they are viewing the world. I am intrigued.
You should be.
I will watch it probably tomorrow. I got tennis and kickball.
And like you don't know anything about it, right?
No.
I didn't know anything about it. And that makes it like as you're trying to figure it out throughout, nothing can prepare you.
Oh.
How's that for a tease?
Oh my goodness.
You watching anything good right now before we leave and you get into your meeting?
I finished that PIP meeting without fail. I'm supposed to be done. How are we done with 2 hours before I'm done with this meeting?
Because you committed another HR violation yesterday.
I did. No, I finished Twisted Metal, which is it's a fine show if that's your thing, and it is my thing. Just mind-numbing violence and goofiness. You can give that to me. Excited about Gen V coming on Prime later on this month in like 2 weeks. I'm excited about that. We're making our way through Wednesday season 2. Love Wednesday season 2. The usual cast of characters is back from season 1. There's a focused now on the rest of the family. Pugsley is in it. Morticia is in it. That relationship, the dynamic between the daughter and the mother, they're doing the whole like, the daughter and the mother don't like one another type thing.
Teenage daughter
stuff. That type stuff, but they do it in a really fun, sort of weird way, synonymous with the Addams family. So I'm watching that as well. Never watched 227. I've seen snippets of it, caught it on when my family has watched it. It's a black show. You wouldn't. It's an old black people show. You wouldn't. Thanks. Like you know some of the actors and actresses in it, but there's no reason for you to watch 227.
Oh God, it is old.
Yeah, so I'm making my way through 227 right now.
Jackie Harry's in it?
Yes, that was her start.
Regina King's in it?
That was her start.
Well, maybe I would be interested in 227.
It's a great show. It's your typical sitcom.
Okay.
So making our way through that. Yeah, those are the things that I'm watching. I got an episode in and hadn't finished it yet. Need to continue to watch it. The Paper Company on the Peacock, the one that's
we're gonna try it. The Office.
Yeah,
I'm not an Office fan. I mean, people get really upset when you say
listen,
that. I didn't connect to The Office in a way that many of you did, but I have heard The Paper is entertaining, and I am interested in giving it a go.
One episode in, and your boy is bored out of his mind. But I give him 3.
Okay.
I give him at least 3. So we'll see what happens at the end of 3. And I'm also making my way because I didn't realize this. I got access to Peacock now. The Superfan episode of The Office is on the Peacock. Okay. And so I'm making my way through those, and those are even better than the original. So
okay. It's football season. It's real hard to squeeze all this TV in. We're struggling.
I'm at the height of, I'm a 2-sport athlete now, Jessica. In my
WNBA.
In my late 30s, early 40s, 2-sport athlete.
Oh, you're a tennis player as well. I'm sorry.
And kickball.
And kickball.
Don't disrespect me.
Don't worry. We'll get back to the WNBA playoffs when they start popping off.
Everybody but one is clinched.
Right. Will it be the Sparks? Will it be the Storm?
Who will it be?
Who will it be? I think it's the Storm.
Okay. They're up 2
games.
games.
We'll find out.
Their last game is tonight, I think.
The Storm's last game is tonight?
I think.
Oh, yeah. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, it is. It's Storm Valkyries. We're already in the playoffs. And Sparks Mercury. And then I think there's a tiebreaker somewhere that involves the Wings. But anyway, we'll get into it tomorrow. It'll be a Wednesday. D'Angelo Williams will join us. I never know what we'll get up to on a Wednesday. It'll be fun. We'll see you then. Bye.